Continuing with our discussion on management tips, as I guess I mentioned in another episode, I had a wonderful young management graduate from a reputed university, Mr. Kiran, who came on an orientation program to us and we were interacting. After understanding many processes and all, he has asked me as to what initiatives we have taken. And I also, with the great enthusiasm, explained to him all things which we have done. So one of the things I mentioned to him is that in order that we have a control, all the purchase requests of the company have to be necessarily signed by the head of the department, irrespective of the value. This will enable proper analysis, proper control of what is to be procured. We said we have implemented that a couple of years ago, 1.5 years ago, and it is giving great results. And it said this is how it goes. So very strict control on procurement. He has a big smile and he said, "Can I see one purchase request?" I put my hand on the in tray and picked up one paper, which is a purchase request, which has come to me. I authorized that for starting the procurement. And I allotted to the concerned buyer, as we used to call. So I showed him, this is how I document, and I showed him, there are 3-4 signatures, then there's an inventory control signature, then it comes to me, I sign on that, I said, go ahead, then it'll go to the concerned buyer, or the section head of purchase, then the buyer, and then he actually initiates the action. So he said, you are seeing about 8 signatures there actually, 7-8 signatures. So he raised a small doubt. He said, do you think all these 7 people who signed have contributed to the decision? I said, they must have. I had not much very specific, solid answer to give. The purchase request in question, which is watching, is actually a spare fuel pump for the car the company has. So he asked me, in this case, who has decided that it should be bought? The real decision. Don't talk about who have signed, but the real decision would have been taken by whom? That's a question he asked. Well, I have some idea of the plant because I was working in the plant before. I said, there is one guy called Venu in our auto garage department who actually would have looked at that fuel pump and he would have said, yes, this is the time to replace it because of some problem. So Kiran said, so the decision is taken by Venu actually. I said, maybe he would have consulted his immediate supervisor. And immediate supervisor also would have re-verified, yes, it requires a change now. There's no way. Kiran said, so therefore, most likely, in the real scenario, what would have happened is that only that guy has decided, and his supervisor at best would have been involved. The decision to change actually been done by Venu himself. But then there are several people after the do signed. It went to a section head. So the section head signs it. Kiran said most likely the section head would sign it because the supervisor has signed it. And it'll go to the manager of the department. The manager signs it because the section head has signed it. And then from manager, it'll go to your inventory controller. So he would sign it. It's a one-off item, no past consumption. You're buying one piece. so it doesn't add to the inventory. So he clears it. Then it comes to you and you sign it. It goes to the section head purchase, he signs it, and then it goes to the actual buyer who then initiates action. And most likely, it is a standard component. You would have a rate contract with somebody, and he'll ring him up and tell him, please send it. Now, you are saying, Ramana, that you actually implemented a very strict control procedure, which therefore actually, in reality, what's happening here, there are several people are spending unnecessary time. Each one has maybe 380 minutes of working time normally, right? In that, even if he spends 1 minute, each of them, they're wasting their time. The real decision is taken by Venu, or at best his supervisor, and the real procurement where to buy is done by your purchase assistant. So why go through so many people? So it is not enough that you make one procedure saying that everything is controlled through this. So there are two ways of management. One is control and command, that is what is this procedure, what you install is talking. And there is another procedure, which is another concept, which is empowering. Now, tomorrow, by any chance, somebody has a question as to why did we buy this fuel pump? I mean, who will answer? Or why could we avoid it? Who will answer? Venu will say that I have initiated, but so many other guys have also agreed. Whereas, why not? Venu is the best person to decide. Why not leave it to him? And why not your purchase assistant to buy it directly and give it to him? Yeah, do everything to empower them. If they require training, if they require any other communication, do it, rather than involving many other people who actually are not contributing to this transaction. So there's a big difference between installing a procedure which is based on control and command concept versus empowering concept. Kiran further, of course, added that I'm not saying this is a solution for everything. There will be lots of decisions which will have to have many people's involvement, and they can get together and do it. But let people be empowered. They're very likely the decisions will be better compared to in a control environment. So this is one thought. Again, Kiran summed up saying that it may not be true in all cases, but the guys who are deciding these procedures or managing at a general management level should be aware that where control and command is required and where empowering culture is required, and how do you deal with it. You should be aware that there are two such concepts and choose after deliberation as to what you will do at each place. I think a great learning, because by some places, wrong places, if you do control and command, you end up losing productivity. At the end of the day, time. So management tip of the day, be aware that there are two concepts, control and command and empowering, and you decide as to which one you follow after careful thinking. Thank you.